Hello everyone and welcome to another Starcraft 2 live cast. For this one we're playing a TvT and we are on Cyber Forest. Alright, so
Not
here.
enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Additional supply depots required.
Alright. Just getting that barracks set up in a way that helps funnel the Reapers towards the bunker.
Not enough minerals. 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 Our SCVs are under attack. Command center upgrade complete.
Okay.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
I built too many missile turrets. Can't afford the starport.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
So I guess 3 is the magic number. I can build 3 before my PF and starport.
Research. Command center upgrade complete. Add-on complete.
Alright, let's populate all the gas geysers. Oh boy.
base is
I'm not sure what to do about this.
Add-on complete. Research complete. Upgrade complete.
If he has Yamato, it's over, I think. I should actually check that replay. I think I had to build a Viking and a Cyclone. Or 2 Vikings. Otherwise I can never kill it. Because I certainly can't kill it with 4 Marines. The turret ring is pointless if he jumps in the back. That's a good map for that too, jeez. Maybe on this particular map I should get a missile turret right here. I mean, it would literally just be for the battlecruiser rush. By the way, is that fastest possible by BC? Let's see. Gas into racks. Racks into immediate factory. Immediate factory into starport. Starport into fusion core. Yes, so that is the fastest possible battlecruiser. So it arrives at just after 5 minutes. You could have done it very slightly quicker. You know, if you didn't like run from like here to build the factory, that sort of thing. Immediate battlecruiser. He still has 200 gas. Oh, right. That's where you get the Yamato. Is this kind of like an I win button, this build? What about when he jumps in? When he jumps in, he has 30 seconds left before he can Yamato. What if I just build a Cyclone for home defense? It's 100 gas. Kind of wondering how much damage a Cyclone can do in 30 seconds. So you can do a full lock-on of 400 damage. And lock-on's not really an attack, right? Lock-on is more of an ability, so I don't think the armor of the battlecruiser is relevant. I think it still takes the full 400 damage. Which leaves it with 150. I think it's technically possible to stay outside Yamato range, but it must be near impossible. Yamato range is range 10. Yeah, he already got range. It's really close. I think Cyclone is range 14 or 15. Once you're locked on, you can see like the little marker here. But with just the built-in latency of the game, when he changes direction from fleeing to moving towards you, your window to switch back directions is almost zero. And you can't really keep him right on the edge of your range too, right? If he ever just goes over for a split second, then you lose your lock on. So you kind of have to keep him within 12 range, or even 11. Man, I don't even know what to do. This map there's a hiding spot back here for the battlecruiser. That's why I think this map it would be a more popular build on. Which is why I was thinking to put the missile turret right on the edge. Because turret's got good range, it can shoot into there, especially with high sec auto tracking. But if he doesn't jump back here, say he just jumps on my mineral line, that is risky. Because with the turret back here, it might just force him into this area. And that's still away from the missile turret ring. I'm not sure if that helps a lot having him in this area. Like maybe the turret here is better, that way I can continue mining. But then he has a safe zone to go to. And if he has that safe zone to go to, that means I can't build any structures back here where I like to build them. Maybe build my starports over here. It's pretty good too. I guess the other option would be to scan at like 420, 430. But that's pricier than a missile turret. And there's Raven openers, right? So if you see a starport with a tech lab and the tech lab's not doing anything, that doesn't mean battlecruiser. That could just mean the 1 or 2 Raven opener. I think on Cyberforce, I'm just going to put a missile turret back here, and that's just what I'm going to do. Hope for the best. A missile turret can definitely kill one battlecruiser with repair. Yamato puts a missile turret down to 10 hit points. So as long as you have a surround repair going, you can out repair his DPS, and you can repair through the Yamato as long as you keep it at full health. I think it would also take pot shots on him as he's warping in. Which means if I'm not watching the mini map, I'll still hear the explosions of the rocket shooting into the battlecruiser. So around the time I build my supply depot, is the time I need to make the missile turret. Oh, you know, I was thinking too, like, say I didn't do the missile turret, or say it was a different map and I'm not going to do that, and he jumps in. I was thinking I need to build 2 units, right? One to eat the Yamato, and one and a Cyclone to do all the damage. I was thinking a Cyclone to Viking, because even if Yamato's a Cyclone, I can slowly kite him with a Viking. But actually Raven would be a good choice too. Because I believe Interference Matrix is only 50 energy, which means even if I don't get Corvid Reactor, I can still cast the Interference Matrix as soon as the Raven spawns. So I think immediately making a Raven is Cyclone, because I do have a gas make at this point. I'm starting to save up gas for the for my Raven production. So I think I should put the factory back on the tech lab. So he does the warp in. See, I'm not doing the missile turret thing. There's the warp in. Yeah, so cancel the starport, I guess. And build the move the factory back onto the tech lab and start the Cyclone. So say I'm landing about now, starting the Cyclone. That means the 32 seconds off a Cyclone. Or even it could have started before then. Yeah, it would have worked out perfect. 43 seconds for the Raven, which gives me 43 seconds to float over the factory and get the Cyclone started. And then I got to pull all my workers. Okay, we got a plan for this BC thing. My plan up until this point was it's uncommon, so it's okay. Plus he might screw it up. But Cyber Forest, we're building a missile turret in the back. Any other map, if it happens, I need to put the factory back on the tech lab, start a Raven, start a Cyclone. And the idea being you lock on with the Cyclone onto the battlecruiser, and as soon as he casts Yamato, you Interference Matrix him, and that will end the put the Yamato on cooldown and keep the Cyclone alive. I guess we're making this a double feature. Okay, so this is Cyber Force, so I like to play macro on this map versus Protoss because it's pretty good setup for tanks defending 3 bases.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
And I really like how easy it is to defend the natural ramp. You can wall off with 3 structures. That's something we haven't had in years, actually, on the ladder. Is a natural that the choke point has a ramp, and the ramp can be walled off with 3 structures, one of them being a supply depot.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Alright, CC first into barracks.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
And then double gas. 2 in each gas geyser. That will slow down my factory, but I kind of can't afford everything anyways, between the factory, the double orbitals, upgrades, the bunker, the marine. Just a lot of mineral stuff. So I get the factory a little bit later by only putting 2 in each gas, and that frees up extra minerals.
Not enough minerals.
I can't build here.
Command center upgrade
Okay.
complete. Command center upgrade complete.
I'm gonna do something different here. I promise this isn't as stupid as it looks, building 2 bunkers right next to each other. I guess against a super all-in, I could even keep both bunkers.
Base is under attack.
The idea is actually to lose that bunker and replace it with a ninja bay. Or replace it with another bunker, because I'm an idiot.
Add-on complete.
I got my command centers before my missile turrets. That's a mistake.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals.
Observer in my base.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals.
So the only thing we know is he's not doing a
Not
7 gate
enough
push.
minerals. Not enough energy. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Insufficient Vespine gas. Not enough energy. Research complete.
I can't build here.
Command center upgrade complete. Command center upgrade complete. Not enough minerals. Not enough. Not enough energy. Add-on complete. Not enough energy.
Get one raven just to go looking for observers.
Add-on complete. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Research complete. Upgrade complete.
I can't build here.
Additional supply. Insufficient Vespine gas. Add-on. Insufficient Vespine gas. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Research complete. Insufficient Vespine gas. Additional supply depots. Not enough energy. Additional not enough minerals.
This vessel requires assistance. This vessel requires assistance.
Insufficient Vespine gas. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
Okay.
Mineral field depleted. Insufficient command center upgrade complete. Insufficient Vespine gas. Upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted. Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Not enough energy.
This vessel requires assistance.
Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Insufficient Vespine gas. Mineral field depleted. Insufficient Vespine gas. Your forces are under attack.
Need a little bit of.
Mineral field depleted. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required.
He's got Phoenix there.
Command center upgrade complete. Your forces are under attack. Unacceptable command. We are at maximum supply. Mineral field depleted. Command Mineral field depleted. Unacceptable command. We are at maximum supply. Command center upgrade complete. Unacceptable command. We are at maximum supply.
This battle requires assistance.
Upgrade complete. Unacceptable command. We are at maximum supply. Base is under attack. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Command center upgrade complete. Your forces field are under attack. Vespine geyser exhausted. Vespine geyser exhausted.
It's a little risky, but we'll go for it.
Your forces are under attack. Mineral field depleted.
This vessel requires assistance.
Your forces are under attack. maximum supply. Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack.
Let's get Alexis cannons here.
Your forces are under attack. Mineral field. Our SCVs are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Base is under attack. Vespine geyser exhausted.
Let's take out that base then.
Not enough energy.
This vessel requires assistance.
Base is under attack. Your forces are under attack.
I can't build here. I can't build here.
Vespine geyser exhausted. Our SCVs are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Command center upgrade complete.
I feel like I can just take him on now.
Our SCVs are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Your forces are under attack. Command center upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted.
I can't build here.
He had a lot of Tempests, but I had a lot of Ravens. There was a few opportunities prior that I wanted to engage him, but I knew I just spent almost all my energy killing his 45 photon cannons at his third base. So that was a fun game. It's funny, by announcing that he's going to 7-gate me, he's basically telling me he has an observer in my base. So sometimes people rage and they just get silly. So having bunker as part of the wall, it's not really helpful at all on this map, because even if he has like stalkers that can stay out of range of this bunker, he still has to have vision of this high ground, which means he has to step on the ramp. So walling off without the bunker is ideal. But like I said, at right as soon as the barracks finishes, okay, jump back 10 seconds, jump back 10 seconds, jump back to the start of the game. As soon as the barracks finishes, there's a whole bunch of things I need to get, and I can't afford all of them. So I don't want to add an Inge Bay to that list of things to do as well. Because barracks finishes right now, and I need to get a bunker, which was 100 minerals. A marine, which I've also paid for, which is 50 minerals, and that leaves me with 230 and 36 gas. And I need to build orbital here, and factory. So I need 450 minerals and 100 gas at this point in the game. And they're all really important. Orbitals, the sooner I get those, the better it is for my long-term game. The faster I get out siege tanks, the safer I'll be versus all in. So the getting the factory up really quickly is important. And of course, the bunker and the marine right away will help negate any damage from his initial pokes, especially if you did a proxy gateway. Anyways, the observer did jump in around the time I was making my missile turrets. Yeah. So here he comes in. He sees I went for a 3rd and 4th command center. And then he can't help but BM. And this has two downsides of what he's doing here. One is he's telling me he has an observer. And the other thing he's telling me is that he's not going to all in me. Because if he was actually set up to do a 7-gate push, he would just do a 7-gate push. He's not going to tell me he's doing a 7-gate push. He's telling me because he can't and he's pissed off. He's like, oh man, I opened macro too. I haven't even got any gateways. So he immediately takes his 3rd instead. So this is why I like this map for TvP macro. You know, I got the wall off, the solid wall with the bunker and siege tanks behind at the start of the game. And then at this point in the game, the siege tanks can continue to assist this planetary. Often I have 4 siege tanks at this point. I like to keep 2 on the high ground here. That will defend this ramp, as well as shoot out to like maybe like this area. But it'll definitely attack anything attacking from the north here. 1 siege tank kind of in the mineral line. Maybe right there would be best. And that can shoot anything out in this area. And then 1 siege tank on the high ground here, which can also attack out that way. So 3 or 4 siege tanks, and you got coverage of 2 bases. Rushing the 3rd and 4th command center so I can rush a planetary at the front of both bases. And now all of a sudden I got this really solid configuration on 3 base. All while, you know, getting our worker count crazy high. And our defense is basically just 4 Marines and 4 siege tanks. In this case, 3 siege tanks. Turret ring to prevent warp prism play. What I totally forgot was a couple turrets over here. Like turret. These are important for 2 reasons, because this turret actually has to give vision to the ramp. DT started walking in. This planetary is not going to fire. That was a big mistake. Also built those command centers early. I usually get the turret ring, then the command center. So this feels safer because there's so many things like early warp prism play, early oracle, even Phoenix. It's nice to have those turrets out fast. And I already went command center first. It's not slowing me down too much. And it's something I'm going to need later anyways. And while that will delay my 3rd and 4th command center, spending all those minerals on missile turrets, it also means I'll have more siege tanks available when I actually do take my 3rd. So when I'm moving out, I do have the 4 siege tanks set up instead of just the 3. And then at this point, I'm just going into Raven Widowmine. So I like to send my initial clump of Raven, like I build 1 Raven first, and that goes observer hunting, like I did there, catching an observer. And then my initial clump of Ravens, I'm going to send around one side of the map, and then I'm going to change my rally to go around the other side of the map. So these Ravens are going to get sent out along the going counterclockwise, and then I'm changing the rally of my starports to go clockwise. And the idea is I can hide in the den zone here or here and constantly harass these 2 mineral lines, while my reinforcements are coming up here where I can poke in, lay an auto turrets down the main, or lay auto turrets down on this base. Now, as it turns out, he was already sky toss, so that plan did not go perfectly well. Although he didn't pull his probes, so got a pretty insane number of kills there. So I spent most of my Raven energy. I lost maybe 3 Ravens or so. But we killed 24 workers. That's nothing to scoff at. We got Widow Mines in his mineral lines. So the worker kill count is actually probably even higher now. 25. One of these must have shot at one and going into the gas geyser. This is the, I guess you could call this a Protoss planetary. It's about the right size. It's the closest thing they got. Or if planetaries can move, then the Immortal would be the Protoss planetary. So those things are more immortal than even the Planetary Fortress in many scenarios. So the Widow Mines, my goal is to get them into his mineral lines. So there's certain things I want to do with the Widow Mines. One is put them in front of my bases. This makes a Zealot Harass disappear. It helps a lot versus a frontal attack. You know, instantly pop a bunch of things and then have Planetary Repair to help negate his army. I mean, if he commits his whole army to a base, he's going to kill it no matter what, but it helps to kill a lot with the Widow Mines. And the more the Widow Mines kill, the longer your Planetary stays alive with Repair. Other than that, I ideally want to get it into his base, into his bases. So anytime he has a mineral line that's not defended by a cannon, I want to be sending Widow Mines into that base. He was going Sky Toss though, and I did see Phoenix. Actually, irrelevant to Phoenix, because he's going Sky Toss, he can kind of cross the map any direction. In fact, even irrelevant to Sky Toss, just in general, just have some like random spotter Widow Mines out on the map, just keeping an eye on different locations. So if I can see he's crossing the map down this way towards this base, then I immediately dive in and destroy these two bases with auto turrets. And that is the goal. I'm not trying to engage his army. I'm trying to kill his probe count. Of course, Widow Mines behind the planetary is very good defense versus carriers. I've done a video on this in the past. You make a planetary to soak up all the interceptors. The interceptors do very low damage per hit, so the high armor of the planetary works well with repair. And then behind the planetary, you put some Widow Mines to pop the interceptors and then fill the rest of the area with a ton of missile turrets. And I don't mean like 4 or 5, I mean like 15, 16, 17, that's our number. And you do that, and the planetary won't die. All the interceptors will die. It's pretty cool. But we don't see carriers as much these days. They did nerf the Tempest a bit, which may make carriers come back into popularity. Carriers is like the anti-mech, the classic anti-mech unit, all the way back to Wings of Liberty. No one did mech versus Protoss, which is why we never saw carriers back then, but if they did, carriers was actually the best counter to mech. Oh man, it would be nice to catch that transfer. If he's setting up a new base and he has cannons there, you can also put the Widow Mines, say like here, somewhere on his the path of moving workers. Also, anytime he moves out, we're going to punish him heavily by evaporating his bases with ravens. And for that reason, he kind of has to stay back. And since he has to stay back, you own the map, which means I should be taking every base. I should even be taking this base, and I should be taking this base. He does not have a huge mineral bank for this. The only awkward thing about him staying back and it not turning into a base trade was I was getting maxed out with a huge bank, and I couldn't figure out how to make use of that. I guess a ton of orbitals would have made sense. Like even more than this. As many as I can possibly build. And I think just random planetaries on the map. I mean, it's, even against Skymech is not the dumbest thing. It kind of works as a planetary spotter. But it can kind of get awkward, right? If he ever gets to like this unkillable army, then your bank doesn't really matter. So I never planted this. I've sent like a bunch of Widow Mines over here and they never planted. How many were there anyways? 5 of them. That's too bad. This is like a cannon, like a tower defense here. So you want to put in Zealots to tank for your cannons. Said no one ever. I mean, it makes sense. It's just a scenario that never comes up. Yeah, so I did want to attack him when he was finishing this base, but I just didn't have the energy to deal with this many Tempests. I probably had enough for like 10 auto turrets. That's not going to work. Miss. So I learned 2 auto turrets can't kill it in the simulator. I put 2 at each assimilator, assuming it would kill it. I have 600 hit points now. If he did try to go down this way, I was ready to Seeker Missile or Anti-Armor Missile and fill this area with auto turrets. He can hide in this dead space, but at least I know if he's going to exit that dead space, he's not going to go north. Meanwhile, in that time, though, we did cut off his 3 expansions, putting him back down to his original 2, which are completely mined out. Did lose a lot of Widow Mines during that time, so getting a little bit more map presence with the Widow Mines there. And at this point I decided to go in. I hadn't used my Ravens for a while. You can see a lot of those purple bars are looking pretty full, which means we got a lot of auto turrets to spare. And this is where the nerf to Tempest became very good. They're almost the exact same speed as Ravens prior to the last patch, which is crazy fast for this long-range siege unit. So they can kite backwards and be shooting at me, and any auto turret I lay will get off like 1 or 2 shots, so then the Tempest will be outside of range. Now they still have a speed buff, like a big speed buff from the old Tempest, but they significantly reduced that speed buff. They reduced it by 50%. Instead of getting like plus 0.7, instead of getting plus 1.4 speed, they got like plus 0.7 speed, something like that. So now all of a sudden I can chase them. Right, I'm clearly faster than the Tempest. It's not basically the exact same speed anymore. Plus, anytime he wants to stop to shoot, this means I'm getting more range on him. And yeah. I mean, the old Tempest was very slow, so I could get auto turrets all over them. They couldn't even pull away from them. But where these new Tempests can pull away to a certain degree, they also have a lot less hit points. So they die quicker. And that's going to be the end of him. Tempest without support units is not advised. Even if those support units are cannons, those are good support. If I were to be playing Protoss, I'd be making lots of Tempests, and I'd be making forward cannon positions. Build 12 cannons here, hit your Tempest over, and all of a sudden you can siege this base, you can siege this base, and you can kite backwards to your cannons and just abuse that range forever. The fact that you can shoot so much further than everything else. I think it's 10 range on the ground and 15 in the air. That's insane. At one time, it was only in the beta, but the Tempest did 22 range, which is basically like this entire screen length, but to both air and ground. That got taken out of the game very quickly. But you can see, I'm sure he had air upgrades here too. That's 22 Tempests with 331 upgrades. Their DPS has really only powerful versus battle cruisers or brood lords or any other massive air unit that might exist in the game. Against stuff that isn't massive, it's basically half that damage. 39 at +3. I believe it's just 30 without upgrades. I mean, ravens aren't chunky units, but they do have 140 hit points, so 39 means he's going to have to fire 4 shots to kill a raven, and the way he's doing this with like kite back and stop to A move, there's a high possibility of overkill. Maybe like 7 Tempests all shoot at the same raven or something, and he loses damage in that manner. It's kind of messing up there. That one thing is, as I'm laying auto turrets, I need the rest of my ravens to continue flying past his Tempest, so I have position to continue making more. These Tempests are still fast. I need to stay ahead of them so I can get the auto turrets down. Yeah, so that's the end of his army. So, yeah. I mean, for a long time, my win rate versus Protoss has been under 35%, sometimes as low as 25%. But within all those different time periods and metas, my win rate after, like, say, the 15-minute mark in the game was insanely high, like 90%. So it's all about how can I get to this point in the game and not be ridiculously far behind. In fact, you have to even be a little bit ahead. And that's hard to pull off with mech. Anytime I see mech work versus Protoss, like anytime I see it work versus Protoss in the last 5 years in the pro scene, it involves a whole bunch of blue flame Hellions killing like 30 workers. So I'm like, okay, that's a good build if you kill 30 workers. Like, it's all reliant on the Hellions. Because if you're even or behind, it's just Protoss units are just better than mech units. Bio works completely different, but mech is just similar to Protoss, except weaker. And then when you go right into the end game and want to play for like attrition or value, then Protoss even shines more in that part of the game. Did he even know about my planetary spotter? Aw. Anyways, I've been babbling so long. Let's call that the end of this video. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'm out of here. Goodbye.